But the strongest case, that comes from the German occupation of France. When Germany annexed Austria in 1938, tens of thousands of M95 rifles entered the Wehrmacht inventory. So these rifles were redesignated under the German classification system as the Gewehr 95, that's the Austrian-issued M95, the Gewehr 211, the Dutch Monolickers, and the Karabiner 505. These rifles weren't frontline gear, they were issued to rear-line, second-tier, or foreign auxiliary troops, such as the Osttruppen, the Eastern Volunteer POWs, the Landschützen, territorial garrison troops, and the Feldsatzes. Then there was also the strategic coastal divisions, such as the 709. The M95 wasn't just sitting in depots, it was stamped, accepted, and reissued with field depot markings such as like the HZA Wells. The Osttruppen battalions were heavily present in France, especially under units like the 709th Infantry Division, which was responsible for defending Schaerbeek, which is important to this narrative. These second-line troops were equipped with captured, outdated, or surplus weapons, including the M95. While we don't have access to original deployment charts, multiple sources place these types of units in Normandy and describe them as exactly the kind of rear-line troops the M95 was commonly issued to. Units primarily tasked with garrison duty and anti-partisan operations. And remember, the Osttruppen came from all over Eastern Europe, places like Ukraine, Russia, and the Baltics. Many had experience with older rifles like the M95 from their time under Austro-Hungarian control or regional control. The German army also acquired large quantities of these rifles through the occupation of countries like Poland and Greece, both of which had inherited M95s through post-World War I stockpiles. Other countries, Yugoslavia and Hungary for example, also fielded M95s during the early stages of the war. Even the Soviet Union retained M95s from their arsenal from early Imperial Russian acquisitions. Given this diverse background, it's likely that many Osttruppen were already familiar with this rifle or even brought their own into German service. Once reassigned to France and re-equipped with German depots, they could have carried M95s into regions like Normandy. Meaning, when they clashed with the resistance and were overrun, ambushed, or supply lines were raided, these rifles most likely ended up in the resistance hands.
To hear more of this story, check out the full video.